Hi guys, this is my first video, so wish me luck. So first I'm using a BB cream. This one is Garnier Light. I'm super pale at the moment, so it's just mattifying and I use it as a primer. So that one there I'm using for foundation is True Match L'Oreal. I'm in the colour Beige Rose and I'm using the MAC 187 brush to apply it all over my skin. With both the primer and the foundation, I skip the eyes. The eyes I put concealer on instead. So yeah, at the moment I'm really pale. So that's why I look like a ghost. This brush is just really good for buffing in foundation, making it look flawless. So now I'm using the MAC Select Cover Up Concealer in NW20. I put it under my eyes. I use my finger instead of a brush for this bit. I just find that it melts the product a little bit more and seems to blend into my skin a lot better. So I put it under my eyes, going up to my temples, on my eyelids, on my nose, down the middle, my chin. It is a tiny bit lighter that you can't really tell, just to highlight those parts of my skin. Now I'm just using a bronzer. For the bronzer, I every day use it just on my cheeks to contour, underneath my jawline, on my hairline and on my temples. I find too it's just a really good way to bronze up my skin. So now I'm using Face of Australia translucent powder just as my all over powder, making sure that I lightly put it under my eyes just to set that concealer so it doesn't move around throughout the day. So now I'm using Maybelline Color Tattoo in Bad to the Bronze. Using my finger, just placing it all over my eyelid, making sure that it doesn't go above my crease. So now I'm going to use my Naked 2 Urban Decay palette, using the lightest colour, which is Foxy. It's just a matte cream shadow, just as my highlight under my eyebrows. I just find it's really good neutral, everyday kind of colour if you don't want anything too shimmery under the eyebrow. And then I'm going to take this is a really old colour disc. I don't even think they sell it anymore. It's number 67. It's just kind of a really good, it's kind of like an orangey brown colour, and I just use it as my transition colour for a lot of my makeup. It's probably my go-to transition colour. I just find it really blends out the colours well. It matches pretty much everyone's skin tone. It's just a really good basic that I have in my kit. So I'm just using a buffing brush. I'm using the MAC 217 brush just to buff that out in the crease. And then I'm going to my Naked Urban Decay palette. I'm using a flat eyeshadow brush, a big one from MAC, number 252. I'm using the colour Smog, and I'm just going all over my lid with that, making sure that it doesn't go above the crease. Just pressing it on nice and hard there, packing it on, making sure the colour's nice and bright. And then just going back over with that 217 brush just to make it seamless. So then I'm using, I don't even know the colour of this, it is a matte brown eyeshadow from MAC. I use this every day for my brows. It's the best colour. I don't even know what it's called. I think I got it in Gratis, I'm not sure. So I'm just applying that on the outside of my, the corner of my eyelid. I'm just packing it on, pressing, just to get heaps of colour on. And then I'm just going back in with that blending brush again, with whatever's left, whatever product is already on the brush, just blending that out, just making it look nice and neat. You don't want any harsh edges because it's just not flattering. So then I'm going in with the MAC Shadow Crystal Avalanche. I'm just going to place it right in the inner of my corner of my eye and just underneath. That one is just a pencil brush that I'm using. It's just, I'm pretty sure it's a MAC 219 brush. And then I'm going back in with the Maybelline Color Tattoo. I'm in love with these products at the moment. I've got 3 of them. This one is, again, Bad to the Bronze. I'm just applying it to my waterline. I've got smaller eyes, so I find using black can make them sometimes look quite small and dark. So that just fills that in makes it kind of dark but not too dark. And then I'm going on again with my Select Cover Up Concealer underneath, just if you've got any fallout, to kind of clean up and clean up the edges to make that nice and neat. And I'm going in with the same colour Smog again. I'm just going to go from the outside of the underneath my eye to about 3/4 in, just smudging that out, making it look nice and neat, but still really smoked out, just so it's no harsh lines again. And now I'm using my NYX liquid liner. I'm obsessed with this at the moment. Normally I wouldn't go for something so cheap for a liner, but it's just so black and I really like the tip to it. It just seems to be working at the moment. So for me, I just like to have it fairly winged out and fairly thin on the inner of the eye, getting thicker kind of to the middle, and then go thin again when you wing it out on the corner. I find it's easiest to see what you're doing, to try and keep your eye open while applying liquid liner, just so you can see what you're doing. And then I'm going in with the Naked 2 black matte shadow. You could use any matte shadow, it doesn't really matter. This one's called Blackout. Just in the corner, and then underneath, probably about 1/4 of the way in to 1/2 of the way in. And then going back in with that blending brush and blending that out on the top, just for extra depth in the corners. I just thought that it needed it. So I'm going in with mascara. You can use any mascara. I'm just doing a light coat just to kind of curl them up, and now I'm going to apply false lashes. So with false lashes, I'm just using some fairly natural ones today. I believe they're Red Cherry 747S. My lashes are quite curly, so I can't really use massive lashes. Sometimes they look a bit drag queen on me. So anyway, you apply a thin layer to the bottom of the lashes. Let it dry probably about 60 seconds. Make sure it's really tacky. I just go on placing it in the center first, and then doing the outside corner and the inside corner. I find that people's biggest mistake is that they don't let it dry enough before they go to place it on. They think it's going to completely dry and it won't stick. So the glue therefore isn't sticky enough and they can't get the inner corner on. So just make sure that you leave it between 30 to 60 seconds before you apply it on. And just get a thin line on the bottom of your lashes of glue. I just put a little bit on my hand and just drag it through. So again, just place it on the center and do the corner, outer corner, and then just press on the inner corner. So with this one, I was impatient and I didn't wait 60 seconds. So if you do wait, just leave it, do something else, and then go back and stick it back on. So here I'm just smudging more of that smog color underneath my eye just to make it a bit more smoked. And now I'm just sticking that corner of the lash back on. And so with natural lashes, I find it's best to go over mascara instead of doing mascara before. I just think that your natural lashes blend into them really well and they just look really pretty doing it after. You have to know though that you're doing mascara after makes your lashes go a little bit clumpier and you can't get as many wears out of your false lashes. So now I'm just going back over with my liquid liner, just making sure that you can't see any of that glue or the bottom of the false lash line. And I'm just making it a tiny bit thicker because I decided that it looked better. So now I'm just going to go in with that matte brown that I said I loved. I'm just using a MAC angled brush. I believe it is the 208. So I just start on the bottom, lining the underneath of your brows, and then I go over the top, kind of where the arch is, fill that in quite a lot, and then just with whatever's left product on your brush, just do the inner part of your eyebrow, just so you don't have as much on. It just looks a little bit more natural, I find. So just doing the same again, doing the point, I guess you could call it, and then just using whatever's left on your brush so there's less product on the inner part of your eyebrow. Eyebrows make the makeup look so much better. So now I'm just using an Australis lash and brow clear gel. My brows are out of control, so if I don't use something like this, they just don't look finished. It's so cheap. I think it's like $10 in Australia. Ridiculous. So now I just needed a little bit more coverage there with some concealer. Now I'm going in again. I'm obsessed with bronzer. I think because I am so pale, I'm just obsessed with it at the moment. And now I'm going in with MAC. This is so old, this blush. You can barely even read the color. It's called Sunbasque. Just a blush, and I'm using a MAC blush. It's 168 brush. So I'm just focusing mostly on the apples because I did use a fair bit of bronzer, and just making sure that's just blending it up towards my temples. Then I'm just going in with a highlight. I don't even know what this highlight is. I normally just go for quite pale colours because I am pale. If you are darker skinned, you can use more like a shimmery bronze colour, which would work well also. So now for lips, Myth is my #1 go-to pale lipstick. I'm obsessed. I find I need to pat it on after just so it kind of blends into my lips. And then I'm using I believe it is a balm lip gloss. Any lip gloss will do, kind of a clear. And then that's it. Just fixing my hair. So I hope you liked it. See you later, guys.